Tortoise is one of the most underrated animals so far because people think it is dumb and slow. What they don't know is that all those things have been compensated by just one thing, that is the shell of the tortoise. Now, speed for animals is majorly for two reasons. Number one is to escape danger, and number two is to run after a prey. Now, let's look at the situation of a tortoise. You realize that a tortoise feeds on plants majorly. So it does not need to chase plant. Plant is there, you'll find it there, just go eat it, and that is it. So it does not need the speed to chase any prey. It cannot chase plant. Another thing is that when it comes to escaping danger, a tortoise does not need to run from danger. It simply coils itself and enters the shell. The moment it enters the shell is like a stone. So it will simply sense and check. After the danger is gone, it will now come out and keep moving slowly by slowly. And so it means that it does not need the speed that is being insulted for not having. So if fast animals like cheetah and all those begin to look down on the tortoise, what they're forgetting is that they have to run for their lives while tortoise is walking with his permanent house on its back. Now let me tell you something. There is always something that you have that someone else does not have. There is always something that you can do that someone else cannot do. So you can either focus on what you can do or focus on what you don't have and keep murmuring about them. A tortoise is very slow, yes, but it has an advantage of the shell. Another thing is that the shell of the tortoise is always thought to be like a house that can be removed and the tortoise can continue walking without it. And so sometimes you can look at a tortoise and say, why can't you be removing this house and putting it somewhere else so you can be walking freely sometimes? What people don't know is that the shell and the tortoise are one together. It's a package. The shell and the tortoise is one package. You remove the shell, the inside, all the content, the intestine and all those, the heart and the rest of the tortoise will be exposed and the tortoise will die. So you remove the shell that you think is a burden on the tortoise and the tortoise will die. It's part of it. Now, there are certain things that you could be doing that you know are very important for you, that people are thinking is a burden. Maybe your destiny requires a certain style of life that other people think is limiting, is a cake, and it's so boring. But to you, you know very well that if you disconnect from that type of life, if you disconnect from that line of operation, then you are finished in your destiny. There are people who can be criticized for being too spiritual. Oh, you're too spiritual. All kinds of things. What they don't know, if this person's life is linked to that, the moment they remove that thing that other people think is a burden, the moment they pack it aside, they are gone. So you need to understand your uniqueness and stick to it. The same thing that others could view as a burden is part and parcel of your life that you cannot do without. The weaknesses of a tortoise is compensated by the shell. Everyone has a shell. Everyone has something that they can leverage on. Everyone has something that they can do in a unique way than others. If you don't identify that thing that you can do well, if you don't identify that thing that you have that others may not have, that you need to appreciate, if you don't recognize the fact that you have good health that someone else could be spending on and fighting for, if you don't recognize the fact that you have peace at home that someone else would pay anything to have, if you don't recognize the fact that food is always on your table that someone else is dying for, if you don't recognize that you have a roof on top of you, If you don't recognize the good things that you have around you and you keep murmuring every day on what you don't have, you'll never appreciate anything. Even if you get those that you're murmuring for, you'll never appreciate them. Why? If you can't appreciate the small things around you, you don't have the software, you don't have the DNA to appreciate the big ones when they happen. You'll never be grateful if you can't identify the good things that are already around you. If you can't know the fact that you have a shell, you'll always feel inferior because you don't have the speed. Thank you.